The video you are watching right now was edited entirely by Claude from start to finish. Every cut, every motion graphic, every caption, every piece of background music. I did not touch a single editing tool to produce what you are seeing. I built a complete automated video editing system using Claude Code, and all I have to do is drop in raw footage. Claude handles the rest. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how this system works, walk you through each stage of the pipeline, and give you everything you need to build it yourself, even if you have never coded or edited a video in your life. Before we get into the actual system, let me explain why this matters so much for anyone creating video content regularly. Video editing is the single biggest time bottleneck in content creation. For most creators, a finished video that is 10 minutes long might represent 4 to 6 hours of editing work, cutting dead space, trimming bad takes, adding graphics and motion elements, placing captions, mixing audio, and exporting in the right format. If you are producing content consistently, that editing time adds up to dozens of hours every month just on production. For creators who do not know how to edit, the situation is even more difficult. Learning professional editing software takes weeks. Hiring an editor is expensive and requires a management relationship. Outsourcing to freelancers introduces turnaround time and quality and consistency. This system solves all of that. The editing happens automatically through Claude Code, using a structured pipeline that handles everything from raw footage to finished file. The quality is genuinely good, not passable AI output, but properly edited video with real motion graphics, accurate cuts based on word-level transcription, and consistent formatting. And the time required from you is a fraction of what manual editing demands. The core of this system is a project folder on your computer. Inside that folder lives everything Claude needs to edit your videos. The skills, the code, the markdown instruction files, the workflow definitions, the format presets, and the asset library. When you point Claude Code at this folder and give it raw footage, it has access to all of those tools and instructions automatically. Think of it as hiring an editor who already has all the software, all your brand assets, and a complete playbook for how your videos should look, and who is available anytime you drop footage into the folder. The system runs through 7 stages in sequence. Each stage handles a specific part of the editing process, and they build on each other so that the output of one becomes the input of the next. The first stage is where you provide your raw footage. You copy the file path of your recording and tell Claude to start a new project for that clip, and begin the rough cut. That is the entire input required from you. Claude uses an AI transcription tool called WhisperX to process the audio from your footage. WhisperX is particularly well suited for this because it works at the word level. It knows the precise timestamp of every individual word in your recording, not just general sentence boundaries. This precision is what allows Claude to make editing cuts at exactly the right millisecond, rather than cutting a fraction of a second too early or too late. From the transcription, Claude analyzes the entire recording and identifies what to keep and what to remove. Silences disappear. False starts are cut. Repeated takes are compared and the best version is selected. Filler words and dead air are trimmed. The result is a polished, rough cut that contains only the intended final content in the correct sequence. The compression this achieves is significant. A raw recording with natural pauses, restarts, and thinking time can be reduced to a fraction of its original length, while preserving every intended word in the final version. The rough cut stage typically takes 10 to 15 minutes to complete, and requires no intervention from you while it runs. After the rough cut is ready, you can review it and make any adjustments through natural language. If a specific cut is too tight or a word was accidentally removed, you describe the issue conversationally, and Claude makes the precise correction using the word-level timestamp data. With the rough cut locked in, the next stage is adding motion graphics and visual elements. This is where the visual production quality gets established, and it is one of the most impressive parts of the system. Claude analyzes the rough cut segment by segment and plans a graphic for each section of the video. The planning takes into account what is being said, what visual element would support that content most effectively, and how the overall visual rhythm of the video should flow. Once the plan is complete, Claude creates all the graphics using the Hyperframes engine, an open-source motion graphics framework that handles rendering the visual elements as part of the video file. A full graphics pass on a typical YouTube intro takes around 20 minutes to complete. What comes back is a first draft with motion graphics placed throughout the video. each one timed to the relevant section of the content. The 3 format presets built into the system handle different video formats automatically. A short-form explainer preset puts graphics in the top half of the frame with your face in the bottom half, and captions in the middle. A raw-style preset for short-form platforms uses a text hook and a clean cut with captions. A long-form YouTube preset creates the type of production you are watching right now. The format determines how everything is positioned and styled, and it is selected automatically based on your target platform. The first graphics pass is a strong draft, but refining it is what separates genuinely good output from something that looks AI-generated. This is the stage that requires the most involvement from you, and it is also where your creative judgment adds the most value. Go through the video and identify anything that needs to change. A graphic covering your face needs to move down. A color needs to match your brand. An animation style needs to be adjusted. A specific asset from your library should be added to a particular moment. Each change is communicated through a conversational prompt, exactly as you would describe it to a human editor. The system is built to handle these refinements efficiently. Rather than re-rendering the entire video for every small change, it renders only the specific segment that was modified. This makes the iteration cycle fast enough that you can work through a full video in a reasonable session, rather than waiting for long renders after every adjustment. The combination of Claude handling the structural decisions and you handling the creative refinements is what produces output that looks designed rather than generated. The system does the heavy lifting of creating the first draft across every segment. Your role is to steer it toward the specific result you want through targeted feedback. For short-form video content, captions are essential. The system handles this as a dedicated stage after the graphics are finalized. Because WhisperX already transcribed the footage during the rough cut stage, no additional transcription is needed. The caption stage simply takes the existing word-level transcript and animates the words onto the screen in sync with when they are spoken. Each word appears at exactly the right moment because the timing data is already precise from the original transcription pass. For long-form YouTube content, this stage is typically skipped because captions in long-form video are usually handled differently or not required at all. The system recognizes the format preset and applies the caption step accordingly. The caption styling, font choice, text box treatment, animation style is defined in the format preset, so it is consistent across every video without needing to be specified each time. The last 2 stages before export are audio finishing and final quality check. For background music, you provide the file path of the track you want and specify the volume level. Claude adds it to the video at the specified level, running underneath your voice throughout. Getting the music level right typically takes 1 or 2 iterations. Too loud, and it competes with your voice. Too quiet, and it disappears entirely. The target level for most content is subtle enough to add energy and fill silence without drawing attention to itself. Describe the adjustment, and Claude updates the mix. Once every stage is complete and you are satisfied with the result, tell Claude to export the video. The finished file appears in your output folder. The project files are preserved intact, so the edit can be reopened and modified if anything needs to change after the export. There are 2 paths to getting this running. The first is building it from scratch by following the process described in this video. You create the project folder, install the Hyperframes framework, set up WhisperX for transcription, and build out the workflow files and instruction markdown. This takes longer up front, but gives you complete understanding of every part of the system and the ability to customize everything to your exact requirements. The key dependencies are WhisperX for transcription, FFmpeg for video processing, and the Hyperframes framework for motion graphics rendering. Claude Code handles the orchestration that connects all of them and executes the workflow based on your project folder instructions. The investment in setting this up is front-loaded. Once the system is running, the ongoing time required to produce edited videos drops dramatically. For creators who produce content regularly, the setup time pays back within the first few videos it processes. A complete video editing pipeline built entirely in Claude Code. Raw footage in, finished edited video out. Cuts made at word-level precision. Motion graphics planned and created for every segment. Captions animated in sync with speech. Background music mixed to level. Final export delivered to your downloads folder. The time this saves depends on how complex your videos are and how much you currently spend on editing. For anyone producing consistent content, the impact is significant. For anyone who does not know how to edit, it removes a barrier that was previously either an expensive outsourced cost or a skill that took weeks to develop. Set aside a weekend to build the system. Follow the stages outlined here. Test it on a short video first so you can see the pipeline work end to end before using it on something that matters. The first run-through will teach you more about how it works than anything you could read. And if this kind of automation gets you excited about what else is possible, the next video is one you absolutely need to see. We are covering the most profitable AI side hustle that almost nobody is talking about right now. How it works, what the income looks like, and exactly how to get started. Click the next video, and I will see you there. If this gave you something valuable, leave a comment telling me the one thing you're committing to change about how you use AI. I want to hear it.